Which sentence should be deleted because it provides unrelated information? In order to identify which sentence provides unrelated information, we need to first establish what the topic of the paragraph is, or its main idea. As a quick review, the main idea of the passage is the central point that the passage conveys, and one which every sentence either leads up to, mentions, or expounds upon. The sentences of the paragraph may add details about this idea, support it, explain it, etc. Usually, but not always, the main idea can be found in the first sentence, otherwise known as the topic sentence. With this in mind, let's try and identify the main idea of this passage. This passage is an example of one in which the first sentence doesn't actually touch upon our main idea. It tells us that Toomey works in marketing, but as we don't see that mentioned anywhere else in the passage, we can see that this isn't the main idea. The second and third sentences, however, bring us closer. They discuss how Toomey brings readers together as she established Inception Book Club. The passage goes on to outline what the women of the club discuss at these meetings and how the COVID lockdown restrictions affected the club. We see how they dealt with not being able to meet in person, how it affected the members, unexpected pros of the situation, and more. As different aspects of the book club during COVID are discussed through the passage, we can see that this is our main idea. Now that we've established this, we can go through our choices and see if they contribute to or detract from this idea. A. Sentence 4. IBC moved from in-person discussions to online video calls last April, shortly after the South African government announced a lockdown. This sentence explains how the club reacted to the COVID lockdown guidelines and how they worked around their inability to meet in person. As this relates to our main idea, we can mark this choice as incorrect. B. Sentence 5. Government officials have implied that the lockdown is not expected to be lifted before the end of the next winter. While this does mention the lockdown, that's only half of our main idea. This sentence makes no mention of the book club. As this doesn't actively develop our main idea, this is a strong contender for our answer, but we can take a look at the other choices. C. Sentence 8. But by creating access online, IBC and the Happy Noisemaker are bringing together readers from all walks of life, ranging from young teens to people in their late 40s, from Nigeria to Dubai to the United States. This sentence expounds upon the club by outlining the demographic that it attracts. And although COVID is not explicitly mentioned, it plays a role here, as the club never would have been open to all these women around the world had it not been forced to move online due to COVID restrictions. As this has to do with our main idea, we can mark this as incorrect. And D. Sentence 12. In one of its recent discussions, hosted eminent Zimbabwean author, playwright, and filmmaker Tsitsi Dangarembga to discuss her seminal novel, Nervous Conditions. Again, this clearly has to do with the book club, and it has to do with COVID for the same reason as choice C. The only way they were able to host this author is because they moved online. As this has what to do with our main idea, we can mark this choice off and mark our original answer, choice B, as our final answer.